the weapons. Collective edge. Welcome to the Weapons Collective Edge. Today we're going to work on making some Damascus canister. So I've got a buddy here from Dragon Cutlery, and he is the master at making this stuff. So we're going to have him tell you about it. Go ahead. So tell him what you're going to put it in.
Okay, we're going to fill this canister up with a good base metal for the core, and then for decorative purposes we're going to use ball bearings and some high carbon powder around that to fill the voids, weld it into a big chunk of steel, and hopefully be able to make a knife out of it someday. Today we're going to be using 1.5" steel tubing for our canister. I've got a set of V-dies that go down to about a little over 1 inch, and we're going to be doing all of our initial welds like so.
Okay, so we're going to put together a canister here, and I'm going to have Dragon Cutlery explain what's going to go here.
Alright, so I'm starting off with a stack of high carbon steel, 1084 in the middle and a 15N20 on each side. We've got our 1.5" tube, and we're just going to set that right down in the middle, if I can center it. And then we're going to start with filling out the voids with some 52-100 ball bearings, 1/4 inch. Try to keep some of them on the table. Let those shake down. Get a few of the extras out. Somebody got overzealous, because we need room for the powder. And then we're just going to take this 1084 powder, and we're just going to scoop it in until it looks like it can't hold anymore. Try not to snort the powder. It's real important that you use a piece of scrap metal off your floor to scoop it with. Waste not, want not. And basically, a lot of guys will hammer them, just give it a little tappy tap tap. I have power tools, so puts the powder all the way in there. Doesn't leave any real voids. And then when it's ready, you can put that on there, give it a full tap, tap, taps, run a bead of weld, and you're ready to weld your handle on and go do some damage. So we're using 52-100 ball bearings, which will give us a round or oval shape depending on how we treat the billet. We're using the 1084 as a fill material to give us a little bit of contrast and to make things solid. It'd be really hard to close all the voids in the balls if you just went balls out. And you choose your alloys so they're not too similar. Using similar alloys, you will get like weld boundaries and stuff, but if you want a spectacular look, you want an alloy difference. The chromium in the 52-100 will let it etch out a lot different than the plain carbon steel. So it'll really pop. You have the potential for the pop. And I've actually got, with the 15N20, that's got some nickel, so that'll contrast hopefully nicely. This is going to be kind of a sand Mai blade, but I'm doing it in one step instead of sandwiching it all later, which so far I've found to be a fun technique. And so yeah, we should actually be able to get 3 different shades out of this when it's etched, and hopefully maintain it.
Excellent. Welding the handle on so that he can put it in the forge easier. Getting the canister all up to heat inside the forge. We're going to move it back over and squish it down in the press. Just taking the canister off of 2 sides. We'll leave the other 2 sides alone. Okay, so that's the Damascus all flattened out. Got it down to about 1/4 inch thick. It'll come out to be about 1 1/4 to 1.5 inches this way, and maybe you get about 8 to 9 inches in length. So this chunk here is just going to be cut off. That chunk there, that's your end caps. And other than that, that's what we got out of that canister. Okay, so this is our billet. This is what it'll lay that on there. Right now this is still a little warm, but we'll trace that shape on and it will make a finished knife. And we just so happen this is actually a different billet, and that is our finished knife. So this got all cut out and carved out of here. So that's what it's going to look like. We'll finish this one up. So from this step to there.
Here's one of the Damascus blades, rough ground. I've got it clamped to my jig. I've got my angle adjusted on my my platen so I can clean up the grind. because this is a 80 grit, I believe. We're going to go to 120 here and get her ready for heat treating.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, it's showing. I think it's got it.
So there's the handle material that we picked out. It's got nice contrast of red to tans and blacks, and a knife handle will look similar to that. The other side here we got where the pins are going to go, and that would be our material.
Black micarta.
Black micarta, and so that's it. We're going to work on making the handle and putting these in all together. So that's our start. So we're putting on the handles here. Got them gluing. We're going to glue on the micarta pins in there. Shape the handle. That all shaped out. And then we're polishing the blade. You can start to see some of the Damascus in there. The jig that he's got it mounted to. And now we're going to dip. This is going to be dipped into acid. Rinse it off. Here's what the blade looks like. That was diluted ferric chloride. So the final knife, what it looked like after it was all done, and it was polished up with 400 grit on the blade, 400 on the handle, and then the handle was buffed on a buffing wheel. There it is, all finished up. You can see right there where there's still a division where the center is a different color, which means that is a harder material. That's 1084 down the center, 15N20 on the two sides, and the powder was 1084, and the ball bearings were 52-100. There it is, all finished. You can see the good pattern right in there, and how nice and glossy the handle is. It's beautiful. This is another knife, another Damascus knife he's made. Another one. Different kind of burl on the ends. This one is a regular 1084 blade, and then he's got a dirk, and that's got a beautiful end on it with hearts in the back with brass. So that's how we make Damascus, and that was Dragon Cutlery, and I'm going to get with Brandon again. We're going to make maybe some more stuff. And I'll go over some of the other things he makes. He does some really good blacksmithing for camping gear and lots of different things that are just on the blacksmithing side besides the Damascus. But this Damascus that he makes is becoming out beautiful. So I just wanted to really show the process that he goes through to make this. This is another blade, and I'm going to get a little more detail, and I'll show you some close-ups on this and explain it a little more. So this blade here is Damascus, but it's Mai, and if I can get the right angle, you can see that there's a darker layer right down the center. And that means right in here through the edge, there's a hardened steel that's sandwiched in between softer steels that also have more contrast. If you have all the same kind of steel, you're not going to get that contrast you're seeing right here. That dark edge through here is one layer through the center, as we can see right through there. And that will create a hard center and a softer outside edges, so that if this took a lot of impact and smash, this softer sides should make so that the knife doesn't break. This on the edge can still be brittle and chip, but it's a less likely that this thing will break. That concludes our process for making the Damascus and going through and showing you how it ends up. And again, this is another blade. I just wanted to showcase this at the end. It really has nice contrast. And then if you like this, please subscribe, and I will catch you later.